This is 2OF Entertainment.
So today we're going to be checking out the new Kia Picanto. When I say new, it's actually facelift. It's actually the second facelift in this Kia Picanto's generation life cycle. I believe this is the third gen Kia Picanto, and it's already had one facelift, and I've reviewed that one previously, really liked it. And then now this is the latest facelift, and as you can see, the main thing about it, you can see that front, and that's sort of coming in line with some of the other models in the Kia lineup, such as, for example, the EV9, which has those vertical sort of strakes, kind of very vertical headlight arrangement. That's kind of what they put on the Kia now. So it's more sort of cosmetics and stuff like that. I'll put the full details of the cars and the model range on the screen, but I can tell you that they start from just under £16,000. This one here that I'm going to review, this actual one here, this is the GT line. It's the 1 litre 5-speed. It's 16,745 pounds. So like I said, it's 1 litre, so it has about 62 brake horsepower and 93 Newton meters of torque, maximum speed 90 miles per hour, 0 to 62 miles per hour in 15.4 seconds. But it is economical because it will get you a combined fuel consumption of 52.3 miles per gallon. So anyway, like I said, full details will be on the screen. Let's have a quick look around the car. We'll look at the practicality, and then of course we'll take it for a drive. Right, so let's have a look at the boot space, and we can open that from just underneath here. There it is. It's not powered, of course. There it goes. And actually, not bad for the size of car. In fact, that's 255 litres of space right there, which is not bad. And if you drop the seats, that's 1,010 litres of space. So what have we got back here? Obviously the split folding seats, but under here, well, actually there isn't much, because that actually is the floor. But what you can do is you can adjust it. So you've got 2 levels of floor. So you've got that one, and then when you open it, you've got a compartment underneath. Otherwise, you can take that off like that. Oops, I'm not making this look very elegant, but you can do it. There you go. And then it goes in the bottom bit. Other than that, you've got, you do have a light up there. That's just a hook. Yeah, that's pretty much all you got. Let's see what the rear passenger space is like. Okay, this is going to be tight because obviously around 6'2", with long legs, as you can see, this driving seat is set for me because I've been driving it. So that's actually set for me, and as you can see, that means there's very little room for me to sit behind myself. So it's pretty tight actually, I've got to be honest. Not only is it tight there, although there's a bit of squishiness there, there's a bit of room, as you can see. I can push that in, there's a little bit of room there for you. But having said that, even if that was tolerable, down here it's just way too tight. So for normal sized people it might be okay, but for a tall person sitting behind a tall person, it's not ideal. There is a USB-C power point there, so that's quite handy. And you do get Isofix Chelsea anchor points. There's no center armrest, but of course these are split folding seats. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can tell you about the rear. And honestly, I need to get out of here. But like I said, for regular people it'll be fine, but for me, it's not really the right car. Here we go inside the new Kia Picanto, and it's really quite nice actually if you look in here. So that's what it looks like. There's a screen there obviously. Before I turn it on, let's just check out and see what we've got here. So you've got the vents. I think that was there before, that sort of shape of vent. The seats at the front are a little bit different, I should just point out, because they have these whiter light colored accents around this leather style upholstery that you have on this GT line car. Pretty decent door pockets. You can actually put a bottle in there. That's quite plain. Piano black. This stuff is quite hard, but it's not too bad. I mean, it has a, an okay feel to it. Probably you would see some scratches in time. There's your ventilation system. Your AC button is down there. This one's got AC, heated rear windows, and then you've got your USB plugs there, USB-C, normal USB, and then 12-volt power supply. There's a space there. You may think that's a wireless charging. It isn't, not on this car. Cup holders, and actually you can do that to actually get the things to come round and actually hold on to your cup. And you got some blank buttons here with, I'm guessing that's auto hold for hill starts. This is the gearbox, of course. Then you got another, if I can go down, another cubby box there. Traditional handbrake. That's good, isn't it? Not many cars. I think there's only like 1 or 2 cars now where you do that. So let me just put the clutch down and I've got the key in my hand. Look at the key, in fact. That reminds me of a Volvo key. Don't you think so? And then we start it up and look at that. Now what I like is here, see this here, and also the interesting thing is, like, you see these lines, they change with the revs, so that kind of indicates how much you're revving there. You've got your information there, so you can go through it, how much you've done, etc, etc. I've just driven it, so 44 miles per gallon is what I've done already on the car. Of course, we're going to take it out for a drive, but I've already been driving this as well today. You have remotes on the steering, of course, your cruise control, all the rest of it. Button down here for traction control, all your window switches, everything here. That door looks quite blank, and then this one has loaded up with stuff with the electric mirrors and all the rest of it. Now this is your infotainment system, and again, it seems to be quite well equipped. There you go. I mean, you can got a nav there, look at that. So that's quite handy. It tells you where we are. Map, nav, isn't that the same thing? Oh, it's details for that. Wonder what star is. Star takes you to this screen, and actually you can scroll through these screens. Kia Connect, Kia Live. What's Kia Live? And that's just your home screen. So that's quite handy. Then you got radio, media, setup, all the rest of it. Bluetooth, connectivity. So there you go. Do we have reverse gear? Let's just have a look at that. Yes, we do. We have reverse camera, I should say, is what I was trying to say. That's quite nice. I really like the display here, the instrument display. The seating position is pretty good. I feel quite comfortable at the moment. Actually, I have adjusted the seat and I've been driving it for a while, so I do. But when I first got in, I did actually have to adjust it. And to be honest, like on the go, because of my longer legs, my sort of weird frame, sometimes it does feel not quite suited to me. It does feel a little smaller, but certainly around town, short trips, it will never be a problem. Even, to be honest, like I drove it on the motorway and it was fine. It was not really an issue. But I guess, really, like if you're going to have one, try it out for size. If you're on the tall side especially, try out for size, make sure that it works for you. But generally it should be fine. That's pretty much it. I think it's time to take it for a drive. Hey, are you enjoying this video? Then make sure you hit the like button. It's very important. Plus, comment, share, and make sure you're subscribing. Right then, let's give this a little go then, shall we? It's all very familiar in here. So there's nothing unusual or surprising. Everything is where you expect it to be. Everything works as you expect it to work. So that's always quite good. The clutch is quite light, as you can imagine, and so is the gear change, I should say. But it's a nice change. It's sweet. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see if I can make this round in one go. Yes, I can. Excellent. So good turning circle. That's always a plus in a small car, right? The instrument panel, I think, is fantastic, and the displays on this car are brilliant. That's like bigger than that one there, and it's just very crisp. It's matte finish, so it just kind of works really well. I've been driving this car a while actually, and the ride has been very good. I've been struggling to get comfortable in the seat. Been moving it back and forward a little bit. It's not really on this rearmost setting. I mean, I got, because of my gangly size and gangly body shape, it's a bit weird, but it's not too, I mean, it's okay, but I think I would advise you now to get into the car, try out, make sure that it works for you. But it takes a little bit of adjusting. It's all manual, of course. So as you can see, we're being bounced around a little bit. It is a little bit of a rough road, to be fair, but it's a small car, so it's kind of inevitable. The steering is quite light. You know, there are no modes or anything like that. It's not a sports car, let's be honest. But it is quite light, which, you know, to be honest, it suits the car. It's what most people from this car would want. Of course, when you're out here on these sort of slightly more interesting roads, then you know, you would think, oh, maybe I could have a little bit of a heftier steering, could be quite good. Gear change is pretty good. I mean, the good thing here is that on the screen, it doesn't actually tell you what gear you're in, but there is at the top left, it tells you what gear it thinks you should be in, which is quite interesting. So for example, it'll say go up into 4th or go up into 5th or something like that, just to give you an indication of what it thinks you should be doing. Now, it's got good torque when it's in the sweet spot, which feels like, you know, around 3,000 RPM. So it's in 3,000 RPM at the moment. But sometimes, like when it's, you know, under load in a higher gear, it doesn't. You do need to change down. You do need to change down. Right now we're doing a fair old speed, so it's not too bad. But yeah, sometimes I have found it's like, you know, you need to be in one gear lower than you think you might need to be, because, you know, it needs a little bit of help from small engine, right? But good response from the steering, settles well. And you know, it's nice to just keep it, if you're on a road like this, just keep it in the gear. So it's in 3rd at the moment, and that's good, and keep it around the 3,000 RPM, and it kind of does the trick really. So here we go, let's rev it right up. I mean, you get up, you get to a point where it's not really doing very much. So 5,000 RPM, it's not really doing that much after that, so really you're kind of done. But there you go. I mean, roughish road, but it's coping pretty well with it. So what about the brakes? Brakes are pretty linear, actually, not bad at all. Quite reassuring, but just a dab on them is enough to scrub off the speed that you might need. Again, going through these S's, and you can really kind of, you know, direct it through there, cut through the lines, not really a problem. But like I said, could do with more steering feel, more steering weighting. But having said that, you know, no issues with the handling or the grip or the sure-footedness of the car, that's for sure. I mean, again, on the brakes, turning in, not an issue. Back on the power, keeping up a fair old speed. So more than you might expect for a car like this. But you know, I wouldn't say that it's a sporty drive, but it's a drive that definitely, you know, will not disappoint in any way. The heel and toe is a little bit, you can't, if you practice you could probably get it. Nice little thrummy note from the engine there as you're building up to the 3,000 RPM that I suggested. Let's give it some throttle. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, 6.5 is the red line, but you know, by the time you're at 5, it's run out of any kind of juice really. It makes a nice noise though, quite thrummy, so that's quite decent. I mean, it's nice change. The clutch is not very bitey, so it's all pretty good in the way that it comes in. It's not really a problem. Changes are good. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is not really what you do with this car, to be fair. You would be driving it in the city, so you would not really be driving it like this. But having said that, it can do it, you know. Again, just threading it through this little road, and it's not bad. It's just holding the road pretty well. No real heft to it, but kind of like a light-footedness to it, really, I would say. Pretty agile, though. On the brakes, turning in, holds on the road nicely. Yeah, pretty good. So really, I don't think there's been dramatic enhancements or changes or differences in the way that it drives and the way that it feels. So really, it's sort of more the cosmetic side and the infotainment side, instrumentation side, where you see the real improvements. But that's not a bad thing, because it was always a good car to drive, both in terms of ease of driving, but also in terms of, you know, generally quite a satisfying and reasonably enjoyable car to drive. So for the market, for the money in this segment, because actually there aren't that many cars now available in this segment at this price point that offer you everything that this sort of car does. So in that sense alone, it's definitely one to put on to your shortlist to assess if you're looking for your next city car. Definitely one checking out. And I know from personal experience that the reliability on these is fantastic. So, and of course they come with the warranty and all the rest of it. Anyway, let me know what you think of the car. I'll see you all in the next video. Check this out, guys. It's my book. It's my first novel, and it's written for car fans like you. It's a fun political action thriller. It's full of cool cars and spectacular action. Get your copy now at Amazon.com.